All right. Welcome back, everybody. This is part 3 of Clockers on True Detective Season 1. We're into the fallout now. Broken trust, reopened wounds, and the moment this case refuses to stay buried. If you're jumping in here, go back and listen to parts 1 and 2 first. They'll set the foundation for what's coming up. For now, let's clock in. Part 3 is next.
Episode 5.
Baby, we are on episode 5. So, episode 4 wraps, and I reflect back on that and I say, I'm in. I was in from the jump street, guys, let's be honest. But that episode was like, okay, this is elevated now beyond a really good show to like, this is fucking awesome. I can't wait to see what the next 4 end up at. And it's no matter what happens, it's going to be good, but can it be great? Well, then there's episode 5. Let's go see. Episode 5, The Secret Fate of All Life. So we get Russ undercover actions that kind of have a fallout. We get to see Reggie Ledoux at work. We get to see Marty's personal life collapse. He has to go and, bother Maggie while she's at the fucking hospital and starts a whole scene there. The partnership fractures pretty irreparably. After this, the case begins to stall. We are kind of removing the illusion that these guys can balance their lives. They're just not capable of that. It starts to show that the obsession that's kind of taken over both of them at this point has a cost. And we are basically breaking up the duo in episode 5. This is the Maggie episode. You know what I mean?
This was already in 5?
Yeah, this is 5. It's towards the end of 5.
But we got to start with...
Because they get Ledoux.
We got to start with Ledoux.
All right, let's go through Ledoux.
So let's get to Ledoux. We either Ledoux or we Ledon't. Let's Ledoux it.
Do it.
Ole do it.
CK, take us off.
This is my favorite scene in the whole show.
Likewise.
The way that they are both telling their lie to Gilboa.
Mm-hmm.
And then telling us the lie, showing us the truth on screen, what really happened.
Yes.
And I love that Marty blew Ledoux's face off.
Yep.
Because he deserved it.
His first kill.
Bro.
First time he ever fired his weapon.
First
It was
time,
a headshot execution.
it was amazing. And you know what? Immediately, Rust sees that and is like, fuck. Goes over, tries to get DeWall. DeWall ends up running into his little white trash security system, blows up. But then, very quickly, Marty's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I just saw those kids. And Russ is like, don't apologize. It's good to finally see you commit to something.
Yeah. That's when you start to see the character development. Like,
Boom.
oh my God, Marty's actually a good dude.
That's right.
What the fuck? But the thing that this scene kind of, I'm not going to say it was unbelievable or cheesy because I actually liked it, but it made me think, holy shit, was Russ a Green Beret? Because when they're going in there, he's like, they got booby traps all over, you need to follow me. And he's like fucking Mission Impossible going through these. And you see Russ following him, but it's kind of like, what training does this guy have? And then you hear Marty go, this guy could follow a trail like a Native American. Like,
Yeah.
And you're like, wow. How is he Huckleberry Finn? Like, how is he so good at everything?
You ever gone hunting, Marty?
Well, there you go.
That was
12-point buck year before last. I'm not talking about sitting in a tree stand waiting for something to come to you for gaff bait, whatever the fuck he says.
Yeah, and Marty's like, fuck you.
Man, you have really figured out a million ways to be an asshole.
Yeah.
So he said, but it's like, you're forgetting he grew up in Alaska,
Yeah.
With his
only
uh,
had a dad.
Vietnam vet dad.
Correct.
It makes sense.
No TV up there. The only thing he could do is go outside and do shit. So he kind of figures out, that kind of stuff. He's not military
Yeah.
that we know of, but that the hunting banter was fantastic. I fucking love that. But that's how he learned. But yeah, he tracks like a freaking fiend, man, and knew exactly what to do and what not to do. And I thought he was so goddamn quick
Yeah.
to think, take the handcuffs off of him quickly.
That was the best
Before the-
detail.
Dude, I
Let's
just
start
trust
setting.
him.
Best detail.
I'll take care of the rest. You take the kids, you get them out of here, and I will take care of the rest no matter what. You keep them in there for right now. I need a minute. He goes out, takes the gun, because he knew instantly, like that, we got a situation here that if we tell the truth,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to jail. We're not going to be able to solve this case, or we're going to get booked for doing the right thing,
Yeah.
which is fucking killing these assholes. Fuck him.
Yeah.
That's his words exactly were like, I'm sorry. He said, fuck him.
Yep.
Yeah, he
That
did
is
say
what he
that.
said.
He said,
Yeah,
fuck him.
So it was like, oh, everything about this guy, I might fucking root for him. So he was so quick to think, all right, now it's staging time. And so they staged the scene like this was a big gunfight and they had no choice but to be the heroes and save the day
Yeah.
and shoot this guy. And the way that they both engineer
Yeah.
this whole thing, and then the story is identical with the two of them going to everybody for the rest of the time, to the wife, to ex-wife, to the cops that are interrogating them or asking them questions about Rust, to every cop in every bar after this, to the commission that's interviewing them after this. It's just like, damn, dude, that's a bond that is going to stick with you for
Mhm.
fucking ever, because only two people that are alive know the truth,
Mhm.
and it'll stay that way as long as you're both committed to this.
Yep.
And so this will play later because there is a few callbacks to that moment throughout the rest of this season. But I just thought it was fucking beautiful. But the detail in that scene between the booby traps, between the get the handcuffs off, and between the quick wit and staging the gunfight, and then to be able to get the kids out of there. One of them's dead. One of them's like barely clinging on to life, and them having to explain everything to everybody, bro. And you get to meet Ledoux and how fucking dark and creepy that guy's.
Yeah.
And you're starting to sense a theme here that there is definitely something beyond. This is just a sick, couple of sick fucks.
Mm-hmm.
This is something more,
This is a cult.
because you have DeWall, who we met in the prior episode, who had that creepy deep voice and that big ass swamp feel to him, but he had something beyond just that dumb backwoods demeanor.
He was
had,
smart.
I'm smart enough to know that there's more beyond this. And they are true believers in whatever the hell it is that they believe. It's not good,
Yeah.
but they are true believers. You see that with Ledoux too. And he starts talking, and he has the same deep voice.
Mm-hmm.
They all do.
They all do.
They all have the same deep voice, that dark, ominous tone, that feeling, and that they know you.
Mm-hmm.
even better than you know yourself, and you can pretend that you are whoever you think you are, but I know you. I've seen you before. Time's a flat circle. All that bullshit that Rust sometimes is guilty of displaying whenever he's in the car with these guys, or with Marty just driving and does all that philosophical talk and the monologues and stuff. These guys do it too.
Yeah.
But Cole's response back to them is, fuck you, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but it's getting to him.
It's
It
getting
is
to him.
It's getting
he's
into him
like,
because-
damn,
Getting
they're
to him.
speaking my language.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he's terrified of the idea that time is a flat circle, that you repeat your life
Mm-hmm.
over and over, because then he's got to relive the pain of his daughter dying over and over. And these guys want it to be true. And they're doing, well, the one guy is the main killer. He's killing people. He's doing these rituals to get out of the cycle. That's what I found out.
Oh.
His reason for performing these rituals is to break the cycle of the repeating lives and to get beyond that plane into, I don't know what, but some higher existence. He believes that every person is repeating their lives over and over. That's what the time is a flat circle thing. Well, you'll do this again. I saw you in my dream.
Yeah.
So they believe that, well, at least the one guy, the main killer, Childress, he believes that he can get out of that cycle. I don't know about these other guys.
That does make sense, because there is a point where he says to his half sister that he's making flowers with that he said, I'm close. He mentioned something like he's close to ascending
Yeah.
beyond. And it's like,
There's much work to be done, my dear.
exactly.
Yeah, he
dude.
turned British.
Yeah, we can talk about that when we get to it.
When
But
we get to 8,
yeah.
we'll get all into this.
So, dude, after this, they get a ton of praise at the Force. Marty's a king. Russ is kind of just, whatever. And
he
then
recommends Rust for the Medal of Merit.
Rust, they do the interviews, whatever. You get to see them lie about it. It's kind of funny, and their bond, whatever. Then you see Marty go to a bar, and that's when Beth comes in.
He gets the T-Mobile phone,
He gets
which
the
ends up being
T-Mobile
his
phone
downfall.
first. Yes.
and she's working at T-Mobile.
Yes. And then he goes to the bar because he actually controlled himself and was like, I'm not going to do anything. And then he goes to the bar and she walks in and she's like, I'll have a dirty martini, extra dirty. And then starts talking to him. And then they're outside and she convinces him. And then obviously they bang. And when he goes home, he's actually like, he's back with Maggie. And then when he's in the shower, she sees he put his shit in the laundry room, his underwear and all of his stuff. And she's like, what? Oh my God. And then while he's in the shower, he's like, hey, babe, I was thinking we go out tonight, maybe date night. And then she looks through his phone and she's like, sure. After she sees the nude from Beth.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, oh my God, this guy finally, he was a hero at work. He's back at home. He's a hero at home. Oh my God. But before this, sorry, you get to see him get back in the house because he goes to the roller skate rink with the kids. And that's when Maggie's like, you better not fuck up this time.
Yeah.
And that was her saying yes. And you just assume they're doing great. And then that's when this whole Beth thing happens. This is after T-Mobile. So T-Mobile, they go to the roller skate rink. He's back. And then he goes to the bar. And that's when Beth gets him.
Well, they even get to that point primarily. I mean, I'm not going to say primarily, but in a large part because of Rust and his connection with Maggie, because he says to her, this is about the kids. We, men and women, we're not meant to be together forever. We're not meant to do all this stuff. Marriage is just this weird construct. We are only here to make kids.
Yeah.
And that's it. He is gonna fuck up. It's what we do. We're not perfect. And, the guy, he deserves another chance.
Yeah.
So they even get to that point.
Well, what does
because
she
of that.
say to him where he walks out of that diner?
She says that you're making an excuse. You're just like all the rest of them. You must have been a hell of a husband.
Oh,
That's when
yeah.
he's like,
Fuck
you.
you.
Yep.
And
You
he
don't know what
walks
kind of
out.
husband I was. And he
Exactly.
probably was a great husband,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
I bet before the daughter died, he probably was like,
I
that's
mean,
probably why he's so bitter, because he had everything.
So he basically gives Marty a layup.
yep.
Yeah.
And then when she finds out, she doesn't know what to do. She calls him and she says he said he had to go in for casework. And he was like, look, they all fucking hate me in the office. So I don't know. They don't talk to me anyways. So maybe he is. I don't know. Or we're.
Yep.
No, you're mixing that up. That was the first affair. That was the first affair. The second affair, she finds out on her own.
She finds out on her own, and then she shows
Yeah, I
up.
know she finds out on her own, but she still calls.
No,
him.
that was the first girl.
Oh, are you
When
sure?
when she calls Russ the very first
But she
time.
still calls Russ before she comes over that
But
night.
that was before she found out about.
Yeah, but
the
why does
Dario.
she call Rust before she comes over?
She calls him and says I'm sorry. She shows up to his door.
Yeah, but she
Yeah,
calls
she doesn't
him
call
before,
him
I
that
thought.
time.
I don't think she calls him the second time.
Okay.
I think she shows up to his door and she says he's doing it again.
Yeah.
She tries to go to the bar
And fuck a
prior
random
to
guy.
and F a random dude.
Yes.
Can't do it. So she goes to Russ's house, goes and tells him what's going on. She said, what are you even doing here? Because she's like, well, shouldn't he be working? And he said, I'm off the job. I got suspended. Then he got suspended. I don't remember what he got suspended for this time.
He got suspended because he went to Billy Lee Tuttle's.
That's right. Because he goes to Billy Lee Tuttle's and he's like, no, I just want to look at the files, because they start adding up all these pieces. Meanwhile, while this personal shit's going on, they start adding up all these pieces. And he's like, seems like a lot of shit's going down around the coast. It seems like a lot of it seems to be around these ministries and schools.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like there's a lot of different connections here. They keep coming back to the Tuttles. And so he's trying to get to the bottom of it and look at files. Well, anything before 05 or whatever the date is that they keep pulling up. It keeps coming up. It keeps popping, and he's rattling the cages. And for every time that he does that, the Tuttles are to his face like, oh, I'm sure this is totally fine. I tell you what, why don't you call and make an appointment? We can set you up with that.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't be any problem. We'll get you whatever
to the
you need.
archives.
We'll just get you to the archives, all that shit. And it is all bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
All they do as soon as he leaves is call whatever politician is in charge, who calls the police chief, and they ream him a new one.
Yep.
He's the only guy doing his fucking job the entire goddamn time.
Yep.
And the rest of them are just witnesses. Towing the line, right? Towing the line. That's what we do.
And
we follow orders. That's what we do, right?
Shane, before he gets suspended, this is one of my favorite quotes. And this one hurts. But when he gets suspended and he's walking out, Marty is trying to grab, like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? And Rust just like kind of like freaks out on him, like spazzes, and he's like, remember, you're nothing without me.
That is true.
Because he's told him to go do his fucking paperwork.
I think at that point he might have figured out that Marty was cheating
Again, yeah.
Even though he tells Maggie he didn't know, because
Yeah.
he's like, you moron. He calls Marty a
Yeah.
moron. And it seemed like he knew.
He knew.
Because he was
knew.
part of the reason.
Well, because he came into the suspension meeting all drunk
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, he's like,
And-
you're doing it again.
Yeah, and that's when he said, you're nothing without me, because he got mad because he said, I'm going to go do my fucking paperwork. And that's when Marty was like, what? And like followed him out. And he's like, literally, without me, you're nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's for
Well-
you to do the paperwork, you're finally doing something. I'm out here doing actual work. So
Mhm.
you're progressing your whole career through me.
Yep. And that's exactly right. Marty is there at this point. The only time that he has been useful was episode 4 and 5, when he didn't have his family
Yep.
and he had nothing else but the case. And now that he has something else to latch onto, Beth, who we do meet earlier in the season. She's one of the prosts
At the ranch.
at the ranch who is not of age. We get to meet her, and Beth has grown up. Beth is lovely. But he keeps going back to these women and Russ calls it out, like, they're just young Maggies. Are you
Yeah.
fucking dumb?
Yeah.
Like, what, you have everything you could ever want and you keep fucking it up.
Yep.
Also, Maggie is still hot.
Yeah.
Maggie's she's a
She's still
smoke
young
show. Are you
Maggie.
freaking kidding me? So
Marty.
Maggie goes over to Rust's. She comes on to him.
And he's like, what are you doing?
What are you doing here? And she has her way with him. And after it's over,
I guess you could call it that.
well, he kind of has.
chokes her out.
Dude, and I love it that it's 20 seconds long.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
It was so animalistic. They show him from the back, and it's like a Discovery Channel.
It was. Well, you can tell. I thought about this before I came on. I thought about this, and this is maybe crazy to just put two and two together. But he's so moralistic. I think the reason it was so quick was because I don't think he sits in his apartment and jerks off.
No, probably not.
I think like this was like,
Dude, if you're surrounded, look at his apartment, dude. It's sparse. There's nothing
like-
there except papers of dead people all over the place. That's not fucking.
he doesn't like this guy. Yeah, it's going to be 2 seconds. Like he hasn't
Yeah,
done this in years.
yeah. Because if you haven't in that long, then
Mhm.
that temptation would be so much
Yep.
more, and it kind of explains like that he would do it,
Yeah.
and he hasn't felt the touch of a woman in
Yeah.
Yeah,
how many years?
long
he
time.
Dumped that one girl.
That's right. That happens, and immediately afterwards, he's like, "The fuck are you doing here?" And she's like, "I'm sorry, Russ. It wasn't you. I just knew that if I did this, he would never let it go.
Yeah.
This is something he could never live with,
Mhm.
That
And
was
I
her
need-
divorce.
and I needed to hurt him."
Yeah.
And so that's what she did.
I don't know.
and
I think
then-
she kind of liked Russ too. a
I'm
little
sure
bit.
she did, and I'm sure he likes her too. There's definitely feelings there, but it's not like, "Hey, we're gonna get married and have a life together." It's
Yeah,
not. It's
yeah.
not like that. I think they have a mutual respect for each other. I think there is attraction there. They're both good-looking people,
And then they're friends.
and they're friends. But it's more of a, she needed to get back at Marty, and in a way that he could never forgive, and it worked. Now, Cole freaks out on her, screams at her, "Fuck you, get the fuck out. Get out.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out." And she does. And he cries, she cries. He's like, "I know what this means now." I mean,
Yeah.
he was drunk at the time, but it's still,
At that point, he's always drunk.
Exactly. And people still have to make choices regardless of whether they're drunk or not. So
True.
he knows immediately once that door closes, well, this is going to be it for me and Marty. And I don't think he's afraid of any confrontation with anybody,
He's not.
even Marty, but he knows it's coming. So it's like, great. Now I got another thing.
Yeah.
And all he wants to do is finish this fucking case.
Yeah, it's going to get in the way of the case.
It's getting in the way. So he's got that weight. And then you see Marty come home. You have Maggie sitting there waiting for him. And she says, "Sit down, Marty.
Yeah.
We got to talk." He's like, "Oh, what's going on, babe?"
I know. I love that part. Hey, baby. How
"Hey,
are you?
babe, how
honey?"
are you?
And he kisses her and she does this and he
Mm.
just does it on the cheek.
But she's like, "Go ahead and have a seat. We got to talk." And he's like, "Okay, what's going on?" "I slept with somebody." "What?" "You know him." What are you saying?"
Who?
"You know him well. I slept with your partner. I fucked Russ." And he's like, "What the fuck do you mean?" And he does the same childish shit that he did with Daddario. He's like, "Fucking whore."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't been fucked like that since before the kids. And that's when
Oh.
he freaks out. And
Dude,
at that point, I'm like,
she took it too far.
oh man, I can't blame him for this.
That's never
So-
coming back from that.
No, there's no coming back from that.
Dude, if you hear that, it's like,
Bro, he bum rushes.
She's lucky he didn't do her.
Well, listen, time is a flat circle. He could have done it again. So he goes over there and is like, gets in her face, and she's like, go ahead, do it. Give us something else to talk to your daughters about.
She calls him a coward.
And she said, get your fucking hands off me. And so he is like clearly in a rage, but it's mostly like, damn, I can't believe that she said this. I can't believe that she did this. I can't believe that she did this with him. And I can't believe that all of my transgressions are back. Because before that, she said, oh, I saw the messages. Nice ass, Marty.
yeah.
Okay.
B.
Really? I always knew I was a little too skinny for you. And he's like, babe, what are you talking? I can't help it. It's some crazy bitch. It's
Yeah,
just
Still
yeah.
lies. He
Still
still
lies.
lies. He could have he's caught and he's still lying.
I think he thinks that the truth is so painful that
Yeah.
he just cannot do it. So his way of dealing with it is by biting his fucking lip. And he just can't get over that. And so the next day we have the fight. Him and Rust duke it out. They duke it out in the parking lot of the PD, and everybody just stands around and watches. And Marty gets some good shots in. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
He kind of whips ass, but at the same time, he gets his ass whipped.
He even
And-
asked him later, like, did you let me?
No,
Yeah.
that's the part that stuck with him. He's like, Russ clearly like has moved on, and this is episode 7 or 8, and he's like, something's been really gnawing at me. Did you ever hold back?
Yeah.
I feel like you held back a little bit. Why does it matter, Marty? Doesn't matter. Well, because that really fucking would chap my ass. If you were holding back in a fight like that, you don't do that with another man. You wouldn't have quit. You're just so goddamn mad. Like, I would have had to kill you.
There was a really cool detail going from this episode to the next when Marty goes to tackle him for the second time and Russ like brushes him off and he busts up the back of his truck.
Yeah.
And
I
then the
remember.
next episode, cut to 10 years later, and then they meet back up and the truck, the tail light is
Yep.
still busted.
Yep.
Like, he's just like, he doesn't care about anything in his life except for the case. He won't even fix the freaking tail light.
So true, man. So
And he's
true.
still driving the same F-250 19.
Time jumps forward. Rust and Marty are estranged. They haven't talked to each other in years.
Mm-hmm.
Maggie and Marty, I don't think have talked in a couple years.
She's
Too.
remarried.
She's remarried. She has a nice big house. Don't
Escalade.
ever see the husband.
Nope.
I do wonder if it's the guy from the bar.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, he seemed like a nice guy that would fuck missionary style only very soft. And the case is officially closed, but there's a feeling that maybe there's more.
Well, I think the interviewers are now breaking to Marty. We think he's a suspect.
That's right.
Rust.
Yep. That's what they're doing. And and then they start showing him pictures. So the whole time they've been like gnawing at this Rust thing. They're like, what? Tell us about Cole. We don't really care about the others. Just tell us
Yeah.
about Cole.
We don't care about the case.
And he's like, well, what the fuck do you have this hard on for Rust for?
Yeah.
Okay. So they start actually finally showing him stuff, and they show him pictures of him at different crime
And he's
scenes.
like this.
That's right. He's with his silly ass ponytail and all this stuff. So he's like, oh God. So they start showing that stuff, and then it's the first time that Marty has been like, I mean, I don't know. And then the detectives, to their credit, as much as they make themselves unlikable in this, they're like, think about it. From our perspective, we have a guy who has been he's chased down every lead, right? Everything that you got has come from him,
Yeah.
right? And isn't it funny how, everything lines up exactly the way that he told you it would, and how these things have played out in a manner that kind of fits his story.
He's always right.
He's always right. It's a little odd, isn't it? And now we start finding him at these other crime scenes of more murders that are more recent. And then the seed starts getting planted with Marty, like, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, not the Rust I know.
No, he says,
Maybe.
well, look, you could be right. Whatever Rust was or is, it's none of my business now. I'm done here.
Mm-hmm.
And he closes his book or whatever and he walks out.
He closes the
Then
book.
they have to get Maggie.
Exactly. So then they go get Maggie, and they start peppering her, and she's doesn't know anything about the Ledoux stuff.
Yeah.
But they start talking to her a little bit more about the personal stuff. Hey, whatever happened to Cole and Marty back in '95?
They always do that.
Back in '95,
Not
whatever.
about.
So she's like, well, I don't know. Think people just grow apart. Partnerships aren't meant to last forever. But she said, well, what happened to you and Marty? Was that just, anything happened there? Seems no. I mean, it's just us. It's personal.
Yeah.
And anything to do with Rust. And anything to do with anything.
Yeah, she stuck up for him. Like, he's a good guy.
They all stuck up for Rust. And it's because they know deep down he is a good man.
Yeah.
And he has the best moral compass of all of them. And they're not going to let two fucking cops that they've never met in their life, who just happen to have circumstantial evidence, stack up against somebody that they've spent years with. Years. And they know how much this case means to him and finding justice for these people. So it is interesting. But episode 6 is really about examining these guys and who they are beyond the cases, or beyond this case, if there is no case. But then they start sprinkling in, maybe there's something else here. And emotionally, it's probably the low point of the season, because you don't know where it's really going to go after this.
Yeah.
You got the partnership is broken. Rust is, what the fuck he's up to.
Yeah.
For the last
know.
10 plus years. You know that Maggie and Marty are fucking totally kaputs. Like, they're done. So that's depressing. Because then you start seeing the kids grow up. Russ, you don't see much of him,
Ooh.
but you see the kids grow up, and you see Marty's oldest, Audrey, is all gothed out for a little bit, and then you get to see the interaction with the boys, and Marty having to be the cop dad who beats up the two, I don't know how old they were, 18, 19 maybe?
I think they were 19.
19 and 18,
16.
double teaming a 16-year-old, and he said, nope. And he ends up throwing up afterwards, which also is like, maybe this guy does have more of a moral compass than what you would think, given his transgressions. But he's also still just, what a fucking conundrum that guy is, man. Go ahead.
We skipped over this scene And it might have been before Marty says I'm done with the interviewing. It definitely was before because he's still talking to the two detectives.
Yeah.
And it's a total blip in time. It doesn't help the plot. But what it does is he says something to the effect of Marty could have got a confession out of anybody. He was the best I've ever seen.
He's the best
And
assist
they
man.
go through all this stuff and he gets to one interview. They do a couple of them, but he gets to one and it's like the woman who killed her kids. Rust. And he's interviewing this lady, and this is like one of my favorite scenes as far as like, oh my God, this show's good.
Yeah.
Because he was so good at it. He's like he bonds with every person in there and until they believe like, look, this guy is actually like right. Like I need to just say get it off my chest. Like he doesn't even seem like a cop. He seems like he's just like me. Like he's been in the depths of hell. And then after the girl says it, he tells her, well, now you're going to go to jail for the rest of your life. So what I would do is if you can find the time, I would kill yourself.
Yeah.
And she's
This
like,
prison is
"What?"
very hard on people that hurt kids.
And dude, and she's like, what? And he's like, and leaves. And and he doesn't even like, he doesn't waver or anything. He's just like,
Doesn't bat
if
an
you
eye.
can find the time, kill yourself.
Well, look at it from his perspective too. He lost a daughter to a car accident, and here you have this woman who has three healthy, well, they have health problems, but they're alive, and she murders them, and he would give anything to have his daughter back.
Mhm.
So he's like, you deserve it. And he has no remorse for these people, that her or any of the other people he questions, like even with Charlie Lang, he's like, y'all think because I showed him those pictures that got Dory
Oh.
killed? And he's like, probably had something to do with it.
Yeah, and Marty's like, why would you do that, man? Why would you say that? And he's like, it's funny what you get a hard on for.
Yeah.
It's like I forget what he says, but it's like, that's the one thing you care about. You can hurt everybody, but the one thing you get a hard on for is this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck him. And then Marty's like,
And Marty had a little connection with that guy because he's like, I mean, you know how it is. You want
yeah.
a wife, but only half the time. And Marty's like,
Yeah. Marty's in the background like, well, this guy's onto something.
yeah, that's a little smarter than he looked.
Hey.
It's true. But that scene was cold in a lot of
Cold.
ways. No pun intended, or maybe.
Cold. Yeah.
But it shows you that he despises these people more than you probably realize, these people that are capable of evil.
Mhm.
And no matter how they try to justify it to themselves, he's just had enough. And throughout the season, with each episode, he gets more sick and tired of being the only person that can see all this shit, or at least acknowledge it publicly. Like, I fucking had it with this place and all of these people and all this corruption and all this shit. You also learn at the very end of 6 that, well, maybe Tuttle, I think, dies in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least you learn that he died, and you're like, okay. With that scene where you get all these kind of clips of Russ making these assists, so these other police departments will call him in to get confessions out of people, and you see how good he is at it. And it's because he says, it really ain't that hard. I just
So calm.
Just put myself in their shoes, try to think how they think, and then ask the right questions. And then that's it. They'll just tell on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And while that goes down, he gets pulled in on one assist where the guy's killed somebody on a theft gone wrong. He's getting, trying to get a confession out of him, and he does get it. But the guy says, I know who you are. He's a little scared. It's like, oh yeah, when you read a paper, surprised you can read.
Mhm.
And then, well, I know that y'all might have got the wrong man for them killings. And he's like, uh-huh. Well, what do you know? He goes, I want a deal. He said, you ain't gonna get no fucking deal. Why don't you tell me what you know? He said, I know about the Yellow King. He said,
Yeah.
what'd you say?
The fuck did you say?
And he said, I know about the Yellow King. The man that did all that. He's still out there. I can tell you about him, but I need a deal. He said, with the Yellow King. What the fuck did you just say? And he freaks on him. And he ends up, basically beating the guy, and all these other cops rush in. And you can see in that moment a couple of things. You see his tension, like believing that he had gotten the guy, but also maybe something deep down that's like been buried under there,
Yeah.
telling him like something's left out there, something more. And now he's kind of upset that he doesn't have everything solved.
Yes.
And it's not done yet. And then he has to get back into this fucking case again that had been
Yes.
running his life. So I think there's that. And then I think there's the damn, dude, I finally got some what I thought was closure, and now
Yeah.
I gotta go back and find out more. And it puts him in a weird headspace because it's not exactly a pleasant thing. Child murders and abductions and murders of prostitutes because you think they're lesser than because they do something that they have to do to get by, and then you think that it's also this deep state type of thing that we all kind of think about from time to time, where shit, man, people in power can really do anything
Mm-hmm.
and get away with it with the right connections, the right money, they could cover anything up. And so he's got all these things weighing on him, and he snaps on this dude, gets pulled out of there, and then we're off to episode 7. There's more that happens in episode 6, but for time's sake, let's get to episode 7. Episode 7, we have the penultimate, the reawakening. We have, it's titled After You're Gone, After You've Gone. We get Russ now finally thinking, shit, the case was never fully solved. We got some of them, we didn't get all of them. Marty reluctantly re-engages. They finally leave the interrogation room, basically, at the police station. As they're leaving, you notice that the police department, the detectives and whoever else is left in there from when those two were still in the department, get to see what time is done to both of them. So you see Rust looks like a crypt keeper, and you see that Marty is pretty buttoned up, and he's certainly in a better headspace than he's ever been. He looks the part. He's got his own investigative firm now, private detective agency. He seems, from at least a professional standpoint, he's got his act together. He's doing the shit that he should have been doing while he was a cop. He's got a little bit more freedom to, select his cases, I guess, and do what he can do. But doesn't have the same amount of resources. But clearly, life has treated him better as he's moved on. It has not done the same for Rust. You can tell by the hair. You can tell by the weathered eyes. The same truck that's beat to shit that still has the bum taillight. So very interesting dichotomy. But they go to the bar that Rust has been working at. Rust tracks him down. They have a conversation for the first time in years. And CK, you want to take me into that bar? Do you remember that
Into
scene?
the meetup?
Yeah.
Well, the first, just the Russ pulling him over, almost like a traffic stop for a cop, is funny. He's like, buy you a beer? And he's like, okay. And then doubles back. Actually, why don't you buy me a beer?
Looks at
Like,
the car.
such a dick. So funny. Yeah, and then
Well,
Marty's like,
he doesn't want to engage.
yeah,
But-
and then he grabs his gun, which I thought was
Yeah,
kind of.
because he doesn't trust him.
Yeah,
I
but
like.
nobody. I mean, neither of them for a second. Well, Marty can't really ever think that it's Russ doing the murders, but the two detectives, for some reason, they think Russ.
It's because he's different and because he's smart.
Well, no, the cops just convinced him he's a killer. That's why.
Well, yeah, they kind of
Do you think
did.
Marty kind of believes it a little bit?
A little
I think
bit.
he
He
believes
does.
it a little. Yeah, I
'Cause
mean,
it
I
made
think
sense.
what the story that the cops have laid out is believable enough for him to at least consider it. But I think that
He knows that he didn't do the original ones because,
he would have been there.
yeah, and they got Reggie together. They know Reggie was.
Exactly.
But
Did
he's
it
still
because
a
he had the
little
kids.
off. He hasn't seen him in a while. And plus, he looks like that. But they get to the bar, and basically, Russ is just playing catch up. How you been? Are you still working there? Why'd you quit? And Marty tells him it was one thing. I couldn't do it anymore. Crackhead put his baby in a microwave to have him dry off after a bath, and I was done after that. And then he asked, "What have you been doing?" He said, "I went back to Alaska for about 10 years. Got tired of it, came back, started working a bar." And you can tell something brought him back, and it was probably just the case eating at him. But then he basically keeps trying to convince him to do some case with him, and Marty's like, "I'm not doing it," and he goes to leave, and that's when Russ is like, "You owe me," or you
owe a debt.
"You owe a debt," and Marty turns around and he's like, "Huh? You owe a debt." And then he's in.
Yep.
And then they go to the storage room.
That's right. They go to the storage room, and
some K's, some DBs, some.
So, dude, this is like, I love this episode because it's a reunion.
Mm-hmm.
You get them together. They're both the timelines have merged.
We're
now.
back.
We're back. We're in present day. You get these two finally back together, and Marty's suspicious still. He still has the other detectives kind of in his head, but he's also like, fuck, God, Russ is such a dick. He literally tells him at the bar, he's like, Russ, let me be super clear with you. If you were drowning, I would throw a fucking barbell on you.
Yeah.
I would not help. Why do you think that I would want to help you? He's still pissed at Maggie. He's still pissed at all that stuff, all the baggage. And when he gets to the storage room, he's got his hand on his gun.
Mm-hmm.
He's ready to go. And then Russ turns the light on, and he can see all the casework that's tacked up on the walls, everything. And Russ, as he does, lights his ciggy and is like, "What you packing there?" He goes, 38. He goes, "That'll do it." Okay. Well, better to be prepared, I guess. Now, anyways, here's what I got. So he's like, I'm not fucking afraid of Marty.
Yeah.
Trying to pull a fucking gun on me. Are you kidding me? But he starts going around and showing him all the stuff because he said, look, I can tell you all the stuff that I've been up to, and I'd rather show you. And that's what's in the storage room is the evidence. And a lot of it seems circumstantial to Marty at first. And then he gets into, why don't you take a look at this stuff? You want to know what happened to Tuttle? He goes, I don't. Did you fucking kill Tuttle? Did you kill him?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Did you kill him? Oh, you know what? I don't want to know. He's like, no, Marty, I didn't fucking kill him. Let me tell you, I told you before I did narcotics, I did a little stint at B&E. Well, did a stint at burglary. Well, could have made a fucking great B&E man if I don't say so myself. So the Tuttles have a couple of places, got a couple here, a couple out there. one in Florida. I just waited till he went on ministry. I started going to all of them, casing the place. I figured, well, there's a good possibility I've lost my fucking mind because, well, I'm going to fucking break into these places. But then I found what I found. In one of the closets, there's a safe. I broke into it. Take a look at what I found. And he starts throwing down photos
Yeah.
of kids. And he's like, and these are just like the tasteful ones. So there's also something you got to watch. And he pulls out a VHS video, pushes it into this TV. Marty starts drinking. It's the hard shit.
Yeah.
There ain't no more beer. And Marty, you just see Russ turns. He's at the end of the storage unit, not looking, smoking, and you just hear, "Oh, fuck, fuck, come on, fuck." And it is, it's Dora Lang, Renee Fontenot.
It was Marie Fontenot.
Marie Fontenot. And it's this little girl and this ritual getting, I'm sure, raped, sodomized, all of this stuff. It's fucking disgusting. They never actually show it, thank God.
And he asked Rust,
Yeah.
did you watch all of it? And he's like, oh, I watched it a million times. I had to see exactly if I could see a face in there.
Yep.
And I got one.
Got one.
And
No, none of them took their masks off.
no, he said,
One
and I
did.
got one.
Yep. He said most of them were wearing masks, but
Mhm.
he had to wait to see if any of them took their masks off, and
yeah,
one of them did.
Which one?
It
None of them took
was
their masks off.
some of them did.
he said it. Yeah,
He said,
that's why he said he watched it a bunch of times until somebody took their mask off, and I got one.
He said, 10 years ago, whenever it
I
was.
don't think so. I disagree.
I promise you. He says it, and he says, I will not avert my eyes. I did that before.
But which one took their mask off? Because they would have known.
It was one, it wasn't one of the Tuttles.
No, it was Childress. It was
It
Ted
was a
Childress,
Childress.
and then that's why he goes, you need to get into the archives and see if there's anything with his name. And that's when what's his face Marty goes into the police department, and he makes up a lie how he's going to make documentaries because he's going to go find Ted Childress if he was, and then he comes back to
Says he's going to do true crime novels.
and
now.
then he comes back to Russ and he says, look, I found something. You won't believe this. Garessi was the first guy that was in there, but Childress was working here at the time, and he was a sheriff, and he overwrote everything he did and
Covered
said
up
there
the
was an
Fontenot.
error.
Yep.
So he was involved in this, and Russ is like, fuck, I knew it. And then he said, get the battery kit, and he was like, no. And then tries to tell him, like, we're going to play golf and try to be his buddy. So that's how they get to the Garessi part, because they're looking for the Childress connection.
Yeah.
Yes. So the Childress is the
So
one
Ted
that
Childress took off his mask.
correct. So he took off the mask in the video, so he's in there. So Marty is like, shit, well, you got all this already. Like, why do you need me? He's just, I need access. You still have friends at the force.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody fucking likes
Russ. Yeah.
Russ. So he said, you still have friends of the force. You have access to systems I don't have access to. And, this is the only way to get these fucking guys. We got to get them now. Because now Marty's like, this is hard evidence. This ain't no bullshit.
Yeah,
but
this is legit.
you can't exactly go to the cops with that, because then it's like, all right, well, how'd you get it?
Yep.
But after he watches the video, he presses him again. He's like, all right, now tell me for real. Did you kill Tuttle? He said, no. I just imagine he killed himself, or somebody came to him.
Found out once I got the tape.
He
Found
thinks
out.
somebody had him killed because
He got the tape.
he was going to get blackmailed with the tapes after they figured it out.
Yep,
Mhm.
exactly.
I was gonna say about this tape, how do you think they made that, just production wise? Because how do you make a fake?
I think you have
Uh,
to film it with one of those old cameras.
Yeah,
no,
probably.
but I'm talking about how do you do that with a child actor without
Well, it doesn't have to
severely
be a child
traumatizing them? But that
actor.
was a child.
Yeah, but you could get even a child. You could still do it because it's not scary if you're producing 10 seconds of film where you're just laying down and somebody's wearing
I
like a
don't
tree
know.
suit.
I don't even think that
The-
they showed that.
They
Only thing I
no, they
They
showed the
showed-
child with her legs.
They
and shit.
show,
Oh.
yeah, like maybe they used a prop for
No,
the
they were
legs.
spread apart with. They could have used a dummy. They were spread apart with.
But
the
even
rope.
the part where they're walking her to the altar, like that's really fucked up for a little kid to have to do that as an actor.
Yeah,
You got to find one
and
of
like
those
we
people
said,
that
it
are
doesn't have to be
actually.
a little kid. It could have been a guy with a wig, like a
That's true.
smaller, like dude, because it was so grainy. There's no way you would be able to tell.
You got to get a.
They didn't use a kid. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't know.
They didn't. It's HBO,
No, I mean, there's got to be something against that. There's no way, they would
dude.
use
No
it.
one's gonna do that.
I'm sure they had to be very careful because. Yeah.
It was. I will say, this is my favorite episode because everything comes together.
Mm-hmm.
They develop. They have the evidence now. Now it's time to put the plan into action, and they know we got some of them back in '95, but we didn't get all of them. Now it's time to find out what the hell we got going on here, and they know that it's deeper. All of the suspicion that he had, that don't you think it's pretty fucking wild that we had that task force come after us a few weeks in to the job? Why the hell would Tuttle care about this? Why would he care
Yeah.
about this at that time? Don't you think it's a little odd? And it's all, like most conspiracies, it's always like, oh, you're crazy, this, that, and the other, until you get the evidence. And then once you have the evidence that is concrete, makes everything fall into place. So, one, we get the gang back together. Two, you start seeing all the evidence. Three, you get the plan. And they start putting a plan together at Marty's new investigative offices. And it was just nice to see those two have a little banter. Russ was like, all right, well, how you been? He's like, I'm sorry, I'm just taken aback and fucking, 15, 20 years, whatever. You never asked me a personal question like that.
Yeah. None of my business.
None of my business. It was great. So
we also skipped over the fact that after the storage room and he goes and he finds out more about Childress. That's when he's looking into Childress, he finds the black grandma is
Yes.
related somehow.
Oh, yeah. She worked there. She worked for the Tuttle family for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And so they find her. They go and make themselves.
They look like cops.
They certainly look like cops. But they said they were.
Oh, yeah, Ancestry. They're looking to follow Ancestry stuff, and they said they would get something out of the will or something like that. And she was like, "So we're gonna get something out of this? You very well could.
You could."
That's what it was for.
I remember it was like the granddaughter or whoever was like, "Land writes my ass" or something like that.
That's what it is.
Something crazy.
Yeah, it's for the will.
That's right.
Ancestry.
And so they start talking with her, and Russ, in classic Russ form, is able to get her talking. And Miss, you worked for the Tuttles for a long time. She starts saying, yeah, families were bigger back then. And, there's a lot of them. He said, so did Mr. Tuttle ever have children outside of the marriage? She said, of course.
Yeah.
A lot. But, I shouldn't be talking about this. And he's like, no, it's all right. And she said, well, Mr. Tuttle, he only liked them that once. Once they had been, he didn't want them no more.
Yeah.
Meaning he only wanted virgins.
Or this was Mr. Childress, right? Mr. Childress.
I don't know if it was Tuttle or Childress, but it's
No, this is Childress.
This is Childress.
She's related
Okay.
to Childress.
Really? I thought she was in the Tuttle
Childress
family.
is a cousin.
She
of
worked
the
for
Tuttles.
Sam.
That's right. You're
Wait,
right.
or did she work for Sam Tuttle?
Sam Childress.
Sam Tuttle.
Sam Tuttle, Ted Childress. So she worked for Sam Tuttle. And you're right that she did say that about he only wanted them virgins.
Only
Creepy
one of them.
motherfucker.
But Tuttle
creepy.
is one of his outside marriages was the Childresses.
Yes.
And he kept them close.
Yes. And and then he said, was there ever a Childress with the scars on the face?
Yeah.
She said, yeah, I believe that was his grandson. Poor boy, his daddy did that to him. Burned them all up.
Yeah.
And we're immediately like, okay, what the fuck? And then Russ pulls out the ledger, starts going through his notes, and is like, can I ask you one more thing? You ever seen this before? And shows her
The devil nuts.
the nets and the spiral.
Mhm.
And she says, she comes alive.
Yeah.
You know about Carcosa?
Yes.
And goes into this whole, it is so creepy.
Yeah.
And she goes in on it like she's a believer
Yeah.
in Carcosa, and that death is not the end. Death is not the end. And that's when the granddaughter's like, mineral rights my ass.
Yeah, that's what it is. Mineral rights.
And so she said, y'all need to go. And then the woman starts coughing. They get out of there.
Dude, and then she says, man, she's been crazy as hell. And Russ like, she's not crazy.
That should worry you, mister.
Yeah, exactly.
She ain't crazy at all. So thank God for that lady. Now, that confirmed Childress.
Mm-hmm.
So then they start looking at
that confirmed he's related to the Tuttles and all that.
100%. So there's see, I fucking knew this thing was all network. It was all tied together. I knew it. Then they start looking at the Childresses and what they were doing around those times. And that's when Marty did some fucking cop work, which is incredible because, that's not old Marty.
I think that's when he goes into the police force and gets the stuff and finds, oh my God.
Well, he gets the files, and the files show, he puts them up against each other and shows the two houses. And he's like, we kept hearing about green ears on a spaghetti man. Now, listen, does this look like a freshly painted house? And that is when they put two and two together that maybe this guy had paint on his ears. Maybe he was a painter because Childress owned a contracting company.
There's so much foreshadowing in this show because he says, really early on, the detective's curse? There's that one clue right under your nose the whole time, and Russ has been staring at this house for years, but he never put that together, and he needs Marty. He's a better detective, but Marty, he needed somebody else, a different set of eyes to look at this.
He even met the maintenance man at the school.
And he might have even figured it out back then, but when he met the maintenance man is when they got the call about Ledoux, so he had to cut it short.
Yes.
So it's not even really his fault. He just, they're like, we got Ledoux. Let's go.
Well,
he didn't stand up.
And also Gilboa and the other guy met him too, and they just cut him off. It shows how bad, shows how incompetent they are.
Yep.
He's like, oh yeah, my family's been here. Thank you.
And then they drove off.
My family been around here a long time.
Yeah.
So that's at the very end of episode 7. You get that.
Yep.
And that's because what were those detectives trying to find? The church that Cole told him about? He said, oh, I think that burned down a long time ago around the hurricanes.
Yeah, they're way back in the...
Yeah, dude.
But what Cole finds out during all of this, and he does this during, you kind of see it like, it might be when they're in the storage room still. So this is like I think this is pre investigation services, Marty's new place. They see, he says, you know what? I went back and looked at some old files from across the state over that time. And especially after the hurricane, and they kept finding reports of these little devil nets all over the place. They just called them stick figures or something. They kept finding them, and there's hundreds of them.
Yeah.
And he said, so we never did catch that man. He's been having a great year.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He said the hurricane. He's like, oh man, he had a great year.
Yeah.
All right, people, that's the end of part 3. And in part 4, we go all the way. Carcosa, the finale, the verdict, and where this season stands today. So stay tuned. Part 4 is coming up next.